going?
I think we have to go over there.
All right, guys. So it's been a month. It's been a month of good. It's been a month of bad. It's been a month of new. In this video, we want to kind of go over some bullet points of just what we've experienced in our first month of being full-time new RVers.
With kids.
Ready to go. You're up.
So the first thing that we expected, but lasted a little bit longer than I expected, is the homesickness that the kids have from leaving the only home that they've ever known, which probably made it a little harder, and leaving our family, which was all kind of centrally located in one area, and now everybody's missing all of that, and trying to figure out how often do we call and FaceTime for that to be a good connection, and how often is too much, and it just starts it all over again. And that compounded with the tiredness, because they have been outside more and running around more and doing a lot more physical activity. So homesickness, tiredness, all of that has led to a lot more nitpicky, a lot more meltdowns, a lot more behaviors.
A lot more behaviors, good and bad, but it, with the exercise also is, our grocery bill has gone up. They're running and gunning, I'd say 5 to 6, 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
Which back in Sterling, with where we lived, they weren't able to do that because it wasn't just, we lived on a busy street, they weren't able to get that. So now they're running, gunning hard, they're building up that stamina, they're burning calories, they're intaking good, healthy calories. So our grocery is going up.
Yes. So finding grocery stores along the way, it has not been a challenge. It's just they're farther away because of where the campgrounds are located. We're driving about 30 minutes to a grocery store and to get good produce. We may or may not have good selection. There's a lot of farm stands, but because we're not from here, I don't know which ones are the good ones to go to, which ones have good prices versus high prices.
And which ones the farm stands are just buying from the local grocery store, putting it on their shelf, calling it a farmer stand, and charging another $1 for it.
Yeah.
So we're having to juggle that game as well.
Figure all of that out. Because we want to eat locally, because it's obviously going to be better for you. And if it is local, most of the time it's cheaper, but we don't necessarily always know which ones are the true local shopping. But we have found grocery stores everywhere we've gone that have the foods that we eat. So that's been good. And then along with the grocery shopping is getting back in the routine of meal planning has helped tremendously with the grocery bill and having the right foods in the camper, because at home I would always meal plan, but then once we got on the road, all of that went out the window. I don't know why, but we just were buying whatever we were thinking of getting at the grocery store or whatever anyone added to the list, which is not how I ever did that back at home. So now that we're back to meal planning and planning out breakfast, lunch, and dinners so that we have the right foods for those things for at least a week, that helped a lot.
So as with all that too, we're also transitioning from the very beginning, the first week, maybe 2 weeks-ish of RVing full-time. It kind of had a vacation feel to it, a longer extended vacation. It's new, exciting. There's lots of fun things happening. You're not doing as many chores. You're not having to eat as much broccoli just because we're on the go so much. But we're transitioning now over to, okay, we're not vacationing in a camper. Now we are living full-time in a camper. That's taken a little bit of time for that transition to come around. We're still not all the way far soaking with that. We're still working on that. But we've realized that that's what's happening and what's going to happen. Same with the kids, is they're going to have to realize that this isn't vacation. It's fun and exciting, lots of fun things to do, but it isn't vacation. We are living in a camper, which means you will have chores. You'll have to brush your teeth in the morning. You'll have to brush your teeth in the evening. You have to take a shower. You'll have to eat your broccoli. You have to eat your vegetables. All the normal stuff you do at home that you don't typically always do on vacation. So that's the transition that we're going through right now. A month in is going with that, and along with that is the laundry. We have a splendid washer and dryer combo on board here on the camper. It does a very small load. It probably does...
Compared to what we're used to.
It probably does 3 outfits of any one individual, and that's a full load for that thing. So we're having to do, for a day's worth of clothes, we're having to do a load and a half of laundry to stay on top of it, to make sure everything stays clean. We don't have a pile of clothes to deal with. And that's having its own challenges, keeping the gray tanks empty, because we've had overflows of the gray tanks. So just me realizing, hey, okay, well, 2 washes of the laundry and 1 or 2 showers, and it needs to be dumped. We've had the belly pan down. We've had leaks. We've freaked out and realized, what have we done to our camper? We were just newbies and overflowed our gray tank because of the amount of laundry and the size of our gray tank.
And so then we have now transitioned just recently into some new routines with the whole living in a camper, not vacationing. We're kind of figuring things out, like Nick just said, about how many loads of laundry we can do before we need to dump. So figuring out all those routines with laundry, with camper care, with dinner, like the kids wanted to keep playing for longer, so they asked if we could move dinner later. So we're playing around and being flexible with all those routines of, when they happen, but we know that they need to happen. And so doing dinner a little bit later, and then having them just regularly keep up on their chores, like looking in the bunk room before we let them off gallivanting for the morning and saying, oh, like this is a hot mess, take a couple seconds. It's not that big of a room, just pick it up and it'll be done. Reading and journaling, like it's important, even though it's summer vacation, we don't homeschool year round, so they do have summer vacation right now, but they do need to read an hour every day, and they do have journals that they need to write in. And so getting those routines in on when is the reading happening. A couple of the kids like to do it first thing in the morning before they head out. One likes to do it at lunch. They all read at bedtime, so we break it up. It doesn't have to be a solid hour. And then the journaling, so that it doesn't pile up. We're still figuring out, like, okay, do we do that when we're driving? Do we do that before bed? Do I sit down with them and do it? And bedtime has been a little bit different because they're all in the same room. It's been a lot different, but major thing is they're all in the same room. And so if anybody has their light on, even though they have the curtains, and somebody else can see it, and they're so tired and they're so run down, and that nighttime is when homesickness kicks in, so they're already a little edgier. So we're still working on the whole bedtime routine, but it's getting there. And some of the things we figured out is that one-on-one time before bed, whether it's cuddling with one of us on the couch while we watch a show, or whether it's going to our room and reading a book before bed one-on-one, but that has seemed to help a little bit. But yeah, everybody going to bed at the same time has been a bit of a struggle, and sometimes they're still up an hour and a half after we put them to bed because they're reading and they haven't been able to settle their minds. So
yeah, I think to wrap it all up, I think we hit all the points we're going to talk about. I think to wrap it all up, has it been rainbows and unicorns? No. Has it been horrible? No. Did we expect a transition phase? Yes. So I think we're right on par for where we need to be, and hope anybody else that's thinking about going full-time RVing, this is kind of our first month and the challenges we've come across with 3 kids traveling, so
all the things to look forward to. Honestly, just a key piece of advice that I would have is to just be as flexible and understanding as you can. That's what we keep reminding everybody, like,
patience.
Just give grace and space. Like, we don't have a lot of space to give in here, so just give each other a lot of grace and back up if you can. And that's all I got for you.
That's it. Don't forget that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye.